Now this was our fifth and last match for the evening. We kind of coming off a high. We'd had our first win ever in Clan Brawl just a couple of minutes before. Kind of felt like we had a strategy that was working a little bit for us. So the plan is to once again stay together as a group early on, work the caps from a flank, don't push directly in, hoping that we can kind of knock off the enemy team one at a time, and hopefully after making the enemy CV pay a pretty good price for lost planes with our overlapping AA bubbles at the beginning. Not having played this map before, in this context, we were discussing kind of which way we wanted to go, east or west. Uh, and I was especially hesitant because neither option gives me very good firing angles into the cap, but we ended up deciding that going around to the west would give us the best angles for me to fire, at least sooner. And you can see Mark kind of coming in tight with his Benson. We got our AA is able to overlap, and it's just basically futile for the enemy CV to be approaching us at this point. Thankfully, John's already starting to spot people. I take a snapshot at the Mogami. I was concerned that he was going to disappear behind islands, which is actually what happened. I didn't line the shot up very well and totally miss. But we keep pushing around, and we can see that they've done kind of the normal thing. They've pushed straight in. John's planes can see and attack the enemy destroyer, but in the meantime, they are actually capturing the cap. That Mogami pops up again. He's actively maneuvering. They're kind of a narrow target. I'm letting him commit to a turn before I fire. Once again, you don't get a lot of time on this style of map to line the shots up usually because you can't count on having spotting for very long. And I was rewarded with a nice Citadel at least, which is a pretty good way to start the match. Of course, he gets a lucky fire on basically his first hit. I'll take that trade. That's pretty fair. It's not fair. Totally unfair. It's totally to my advantage. So I'll take a fire over a Citadel any day. So we continue pushing around. John's putting a little distance between us and really between him and the enemy, which turns out to be really valuable later on. We don't recognize it at this point. I let everybody know I'm going to slow down. There's, I got a destroyer and a Mogami somewhere ahead. I figure someone's going to pop up around the corner, and sure enough, here comes the Mogami, expecting to fire torpedoes at us, I guess. I think at this point, I think it was Mark or John recognized that they're kind of making the same mistakes we made in the first couple of matches. They're pushing individually, and I get a nice Citadel hit again on that Mogami, and he's well inside my secondary range at this point. And John's going in with torpedo bombers. Mogami might be narrow, but yeah, there's only so much you can do at that range. So one Mogami down. And once again, enemy CVs making an approach on us, but we got Nikki and Nikki's Prince Eugen and my Massachusetts are doing a pretty good job of shooting the planes down with overlapping AA bubbles. At this point, we're a little concerned how to proceed. John's justifiably complaining in chat that we have a cap control problem, but we're expecting that the destroyer is waiting in ambush on the other side of these islands.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
Here come those Mogami torpedoes, which are kind of a non-event at this point. So the plan was for Mark to go around wide to hopefully spot the DD and maybe any incoming torpedoes. Nikki to sit tight so she's not broadside to that Gascon, and me to kind of move forward slowly until we can find out where that destroyer is. Basically, as we're starting to execute this, John's planes detect the enemy destroyer. He's very unexpectedly gone carrier hunting. Any of us would have waited and ambushed us with torps, but he didn't. So John's kind of shouting in chat that, hey, he's hunting me. You guys are clear. And we start debating basically what... and this is really an area I messed up. I didn't give real clear instruction to Nikki whether she should go back and help with the carrier or push into the cap. I was basically just too focused on the Gascon ahead of us and trying to get into the cap quickly. The enemy destroyer at this point kind of recognizes his mistake too late and starts kind of coming back. I'm focusing on the Gascon and talking with Nikki, and I'll have to look up. I'm not certain. It was in my mind that Kiev's torpedoes didn't have the reach to get to me at this point. I don't know that that was actually true. My secondaries, of course, make short work of it, and I think looks like his torpedoes were fired behind me anyway. But anyway, scratch one enemy destroyer for free thanks to USS Massachusetts secondaries. This was actually another mistake I made. I had wanted Mark to avoid engaging the Gascon. I was going to try to broadside Citadel, the Gascon, or just ram him. And I wanted Mark to be available for capping, but Mark, being a good DD driver, he knows an ambush when he sees it. And I think he said one of the... no, that looks like two of them got by. I can see in the replay. We thought all but one of the torpedoes had actually hit the Gascon, but it looks like two snuck by. But yeah, scratch one Gascon. Well done, Mark.
Problem solved, sir.
I had actually planned to get greedy again here and just park in the smoke and chew up planes for free with my AA. But I realized pretty quick that the enemy CV player might have been a little smarter than his teammates and seemed ready to drop on me in smoke, so I kept moving forward so I could try to evade the torpedoes. I'm used to kind of thinking random matches. There's a nice advantage to your score at the end if you can just eat a bunch of planes for free. But evading the torpedoes definitely puts me kind of out of position for firing on the carrier. At this point, Mark's already secured both the caps, and now he's going to go carrier hunting, and this is a great time to go carrier hunting because there's no loss for doing so. And we're pretty excited at this point. It's wrapped up. We know we're going to win, and it's just a matter of time at this point. And we didn't really sink into a couple minutes after the match that we were actually winning with everybody still afloat. Nikki's still afloat, escorting the carrier, and I get my rear guns off here, but then I recognize the island's going to be blocking my shot. I give a couple seconds to get around the island, and here, I don't remember who gets the kill, but basically all of us get shots off at the enemy carrier and end the match for a win with 0 casualties, so we're pretty excited about that.